Well, here's what's left of my parts 1964 110. I'm taking a few parts to keep as spares for my 1964 110 right there. The rest of the parts I will be selling. Like, I've got these nice footrests or running boards, whatever you want to call them. They're very solid, very clean, but I don't need them. You see, somebody painted this tractor up for their kids, I think, because it had stickers all over it. And, yeah, stickers. But, it's a really dark green. It's not John Deere green, but it's not that rusty, which is good. I've got these really nice tie rod ends, which actually seem to be pretty tight. Got some slop in the actual bushing there. That's the whole pivot bushing there. It's kind of sloppy on this tractor. I don't know how about my tractor is. I think mine's okay. But my tie rod ends are starting to get a little wear. They're not too bad. So I will be keeping these. Got the nice wide front tires. These ones actually, even though they're dryer cracked and everything, this one especially, this one's not too bad. They're both holding air. The guy I bought it from had pumped them all up, and they're fine. Here you can see someone torched a hole in the bottom, probably to put a 1965 or later 8-horse Kohler on there, where the oil drain is on the bottom of the engine instead of coming out the front like they did in the 64s. I've got a spare mule drive assembly for my tractor now. I'm keeping that. I'm keeping the whole clutch assembly and everything. I'm keeping the variator, but a lot of the other components will be going. Like, I have a helper spring on this, which will fit most other 110s, I would imagine, no problem. So that will be going. I do have a problem with this transmission that I need to attend to. I'll show you. You come to the stick shift, and here you can see where it goes down to the transmission. Look at this. I can actually lift it up and down. I mean, the detent springs are really good, but the ball that the lever pivots on, it is worn out. Luckily, I have a Peerless 2300 series down in the barn from a 65 or later 110 for parts that I bought for 20 bucks, and it's got a perfectly good shifter. So I will be popping that out, just 3 little screws, replacing the seals in it, and putting it right in there, and I should be just hunky-dory. Because I do believe I can interchange the shifter, since all that's moving is forks. You can see someone's fancy repair job right here in this lever, which is your lift arms for the mower deck. The helper spring attached right here to this, and then this goes out the side to your to the lever. This spring here is a variator tension spring, I do believe. It's still tensioned. So I've only got 2 springs left on here. This spring somebody added on. Figure that out later. But here's how the steering works on a 60s 110. Here's the steering box right here. Steering arm comes out of there. The pitman arm comes out of there. Goes to this pivot point here. And it's got 2 separate tie rods, I guess you'd call them. Here's the steering stop right here. You could remove it if you weren't going to be using a mower deck, and then you get the full steering on it. I think it limits your right hand turning. And what it does is it stops the front wheel from striking the side of the mower deck when you're making sharp turns. Good to have. This belt here is toast. This belt here, it's got some life in it. So yeah, I got some good parts to work with here. It's got the square stock front axle here. It's hollow. And that's exactly what my tractor had. 64s had this. I think the late 64s might have had cast iron axles, but this predates those. The 63 also would have had a similar axle to this. And it seems like it's a fairly tight axle. There doesn't seem to be any slop in it, which is nice. So I've got some more parts to take off. Here's my clutch and brake pedal. Seems to be stuck at the moment, so I gotta find out why it's stuck. And there's a belt guide. Yeah, this is really a pretty simple frame. This is actually the frame and the transmission cover. I mean, this right here, this is the floor that you see. It's just upside down. It's a one-piece frame. It's pretty cool, actually. How simple these things are. Then these here are just to, you know, stiffen it up a little bit. They're so simple and yet so rugged. Nothing to them. So that's what the underside of a John Deere 110 looks like. I did remove a few parts out of here, but nothing too much yet. Except the transmission's gone, and the linkages going to the transmission are gone. Here's where the idler pulley would go, up into that groove. That is still on the transmission, because it had a good pulley. So yeah, I'll be taking these off, and someone who's got rusted out foot pans, I mean, they tend to rust out right here and here from water sitting on them, even though they do have a drain hole right there, and the hole right there. They tend to rot out on some tractors that are left outside. This one apparently wasn't. Mine has rust on it from being in a building with a bad roof, but it's not bad. Nothing goes through. Nice and solid. I did get my 650 back. The PTO clutch for the 650 does have new bearings. You can see the red seal of it. Where's the other part now? I will show you the part that doomed my 650. It is this. And of course, I'm throwing it now. This little guy right here is what comes out the side of the transmission here. This is where my four-wheel drive lever attaches. This is what slides the gears. It goes right here, and it went snapped off. Now you can see that there is a hole drilled through it. The guy who repaired it, who does this for a living, seems to think that it was designed in there as a weak point to fail like that if someone really yanked on the lever, which I did not, because that piece is welded on there. So this piece here cost me a lot of money. But it is back, it is all together again, and there's a 100% functional tractor again. So I'm a very happy camper. So I got some tearing down to do. See y'all later.